Nothing is certain in sports, and I mean absolutely certain. A field where success isn't guaranteed by just hard work. There are various factors that determine the outcome, and more so in team sports, where there's so many variables which aren't really in control of a single individual. And that's why when an athlete continues to perform for years and at the top and stays there, he is a legend like Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portuguese has managed to stamp his class in every league he's played in. Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, and things were no different in the Saudi Pro League too. The club Al-Nassr was winning and Ronaldo was leading from the front until, of course, the suspension. Cristiano Ronaldo was suspended for one game by the Saudi Football Federation. The reason was splashed all over because it became fodder for viral memes throughout the internet. Ronaldo was suspended for what was believed to be an obscene gesture. This was after Al-Nassr's 3-2 win over Saudi club Al-Shabab. What happened thereafter? Momentum shifted. Al-Nassr's game against Al-Hazm ended in a 4-all draw. Ronaldo, of course, was watching that game from the sidelines. He'd missed that one. And despite Ronaldo's comeback against Al-Ain in AFC Champions League, Al-Nassr lost 1-0 in the first leg. And his comeback in the Saudi League too resulted in a 3-1 loss against Al-Raid. Now, the latest salt to Ronaldo's wounds, and of course, by that extension, Al-Nassr, is their exit in AFC Champions League. They were knocked out in a penalty shootout in the quarterfinals against Al-Ain. Ronaldo may have been suspended for just the one game, but it has seemingly shifted the momentum and applied the brakes to a club on song. A suspension is not to be taken too lightly. It affects the player, his psyche, and maybe even the team too, and his teammates. As was seen during the last game when they were knocked out of the quarterfinals, he missed a sitter from barely 3 yards, and his reaction said it all right after. He couldn't believe it himself and let out a frustrated gasp. If Ronaldo had scored in the regulation time, Al-Nassr would have won in regulation time. The game would not have gone into penalty shootout. So yes, momentum shift or no, some things of course changed post that incident. Ronaldo cupping his ear and repeatedly thrusting his hand near his pelvis, it seemed like he was making that gesture towards the Al-Shabab fans who had kept chanting Messi's name to taunt Ronaldo. And having followed his career closely, I can firmly say that's one thing Ronaldo doesn't like. The gesture brought with it, of course, a huge uproar, which obviously forced the Saudi Football Federation's ethics committee to take stern action. Ronaldo himself has come out, of course, to speak on this embarrassing episode.
To talk about the case in which I was punished for a game. What I did was a misunderstanding. I will always respect the cultures of all countries, but what people see is not always reality.
Cristiano Ronaldo says it was a misunderstanding, nothing more. Not to read too much into this, but a gesture like that is bound to attract criticism. You are a superstar, and just about everything you do is keenly watched, followed, and you are in another country that doesn't really share the sentiments that you are used to or surrounded by before. Ronaldo tried to clarify this point as well.
Sometimes the passion of the game leads us to make some mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. Whenever I make them, I don't do it on purpose. Every day I try to be a better man. I can't promise because I'm a human being. Nobody is perfect. Life is made of mistakes. What I can promise is that I'm a player who gives everything on the field. A player with passion, a player who always wants to win. I'm a player who doesn't like to see people doing unsportsmanlike things. I'm happy to be in Saudi Arabia and I'm happy to represent Al-Nassr.
Interesting, that statement, and he's definitely trying to appease his fans and the sporting public, and maybe it'll work. More importantly, Ronaldo says he cannot promise to bring about a change because he's human and he's being honest enough to admit his flaws. He isn't lying. The heat of the moment is understandable, coming from someone who always wants to win. We know that already, haven't we seen it enough? Be it Europe, Saudi, or the international circuit itself, he doesn't like to lose. Ronaldo's urge to stay on top is quite evident, and that is why yesterday's Champions League exit would have rankled him, hurt him. It isn't the UEFA Champions League, yes, but Ronaldo not playing in any Champions League is something fans can't accept. Maybe this break in momentum is required for some introspection of changing tack, changing his approach and his attitude, because this is the same country that welcomed Ronaldo and adjusted its rules to accommodate Cristiano Ronaldo and his lifestyle. And like we said at the start, nothing is guaranteed in sports. So best would be to control the controllables, something Ronaldo should do to keep his hunger and his passion burning through.